So the answer to this question is C. If the economy is at full employment, increases in government spending will be primarily absorbed by price increases. And this is what we've been seeing over and over in the times we have been using the macroeconomic model of aggregate demand and aggregate supply. And here it is again. Increases in government spending is an increase in G in the aggregate demand equation that shifts the aggregate demand curve to the right. In the short term, the economy does in fact increases output, but it's at the expense of higher prices, because the intersection of the short-run aggregate supply with the aggregate demand will be a point in which the price is higher from P0 to P1. Okay, so now we are ready to use the macroeconomic model to analyze the three ideas the Biden administration has suggested to lower prices. One, instead of relying on foreign supply chain, let's make it in America. Two, cut the cost of prescription drugs. And three, cut energy costs for families at an average $500 a year by combating climate change. Now, in all of this, we are going to assume that the administration is in fact able to do this. So that's a big assumption, but for the purpose of the modeling, let's assume that they can in fact do that. Let's take the first one. Instead of relying on foreign supply chain, we're going to try to make things in America. Well, one of the reasons American companies outsource some of the production is due to lower prices. If we start making things in America, one easy conclusion is that prices will increase. That is nothing else than a shift to the left of the short-run aggregate supply curve. That will be a supply shock because it will be more expensive to produce the goods in America. The result of that, it will be a new intersection of the aggregate demand, which is short-run aggregate supply curve, and it will result in higher prices. So the aggregate demand aggregate supply model suggests that the first idea will actually end up increasing prices and not reducing prices. What about the second one? Well, as you know, and probably you have seen in your macroeconomic classes, this is nothing else than a price ceiling, a price control. Now, changing the price directly is not going to change none of the curve. It was simply going to put a ceiling on the price, so the prices won't be able to go up higher than pre-seed. Now, this will indeed reduce prices, but notice that it will be at the expense of a shortage in demand. People will not be able to find some of the goods because suppliers are just not going to provide it at that lower price. So even though this in fact will reduce one of the costs, which is prescription drugs, definitely not have any effect on any other prices in the economy, so the macroeconomic effect will be limited. Even in that particular market, it will be a problem because it will create a shortage of prescription drugs. Finally, what about the last one? Cutting energy costs for families at an average of $500 a year. Again, this is more of a localized change, not a macroeconomic change. But if it does have some macroeconomic impact, the impact of that will indeed be that the short-run aggregate supply curve will shift to the right because it will be a lower of cost of production. And if this is so, that will indeed put a downward pressure on prices, reducing prices and also increasing output. So if the government is in fact able to do that, of the three, this will by far be the best because it will lower prices without having to lower output at the same time. Now, again, it is another issue whether the government will be able to do this, and furthermore, how long it will take to actually do this. But as you can see, the model of aggregate demand, aggregate supply is a very effective tool because it's very straightforward to use once you get used to it, and you'll be able to analyze a wide range of policy options in different countries.